So here's my buddy, my right-hand person here this year. I told him I was called to shadow, and it's a little more shadowing than I thought. So yeah, we have my shadow right
Yeah, I'm Christy McDowell, and I've been one of the camp directors for 8 years, I think. And this is my last year. I'm retiring my older age. And Emily is going to be the new co-director. We also co-direct with Jamie Ballard, who can be here today. But camp is amazing and awesome. If you haven't been there, I highly suggest that you go. Not just send your kids, but you come too. We need adults and we need counselors. But camp is another thing that I think a lot of churches maybe see as far-reaching or maybe undoable. Maybe they have a small children's ministry or they really don't think they have the budget to do it. And going along with what they're saying, I want to let you know you can do it. There are a lot of churches that come to us that have band ministries or things like that that need help financially, and they do a lot of fundraisers. And we have lots of ideas for fundraisers. If anyone is interested in that, you can fill out your card and put on there that you want fundraiser ideas, and we can help you come up with all kinds. There's one church on the district in particular that always raises pretty much all the funds for their kids to come, and they're our largest group, and they have sent up to like 70 people. And they do like a big yard sale every year, and they call people and ask for donations, and most of those kids that they send are outreach kids. It's not because they have a wealthy community or families that are highly involved in the church. It's mostly outreach kids. So it is doable. We also have churches that will carpool together. Maybe getting there is a problem for your church, and so there are sister Nazarene churches nearby, maybe not even in your city, but in a city that you're on their way or they're on your way, and you can ride up together and carpool together. And there are ways to get there. We want to help you get there and help you find counselors and help you find funding and help you with all that. We can't give you counselors or give you money because we don't have it, but we can help you. We can give you tools and resources to help you be successful in your church congregation and get your kids there. And you can send, if you have one child in your kids ministry, you can send that one child, and we will pair them up with another church and make sure that they're loved on and taken care of all week. And so you don't have to have a big group to send someone to camp. And I'm sure all of you have kids in your church because you're in this workshop. But if for some reason you're here and you don't have you don't have any kids in your church, you can still come yourself because we're always looking for more counselors. So, and camp is June 30th through July 4th. I believe it's on the website.
Yes, it is.
I've retired from that too, but it should be on the website, and there are forms there as well as pricing and the schedule and all of that. We won't have Journey Kids this year. But please come anyways. We're actually going to pull some different people from around the district to speak to our kids, and we're gonna just change things up because we can't be Journey Kids. So we're going to do something completely different. It'll still be amazing. So
I think the big thing is May 31st is early bird registration. It needs to be postmarked by then so that you can get the price of $195, which includes the t-shirt. So that's not a separate thing this year. And so make sure you get that in for that good price, and then it goes up from there. But all of that information is on the website. All of the forms are on the website. This week I had a couple of emails. I can't access the forms. No problem. We will get them to you. So just let us know that if you're having trouble.
And the mailing address is on there. And if this is your first time to do camp, what we ask is that you collect all of your church's forms and then send them directly to me. And my address is on the forms. So.
Great. Well, another big part that the Children's Council with South Texas wants to do is we want to partner with you. We want to be a resource. We want to help you. We believe that any size children's ministry can work, and you can customize any curriculum down to what you need. Let's say you only have 2 people that are willing to work on a Wednesday night to help you with kids. You can take any curriculum and make it stretch. Caravans, I've done this before. I've picked, okay, we'll put the younger ones here and we'll use like the first grade. If I have, kind of that first, a little bit older, I'll use that. You can always mix and match and make things work.
Yeah.
Same with any curriculum that NPH offers. They have kids worship. I've used that before. I've actually used that as a Sunday school curriculum because our teachers wanted to kind of change things up. So they decided to use kids worship for their Sunday school class. And then they also offer some stuff that I know Pastor Matt uses, and that's a lot of fun also.
Yep. This is a product I learned about back in '07 that they were getting ready to do. If you've ever heard of KidMo before, I came to a children's pastors conference, and I said, there's this thing called KidMo that's out there. What is a Nazarene? What do we have? She's like, it's in the works. Come to the workshop. And they presented this material, and it came out a couple of years ago. It's called Gonna Make Some Noise. And I got this music CD, would play the worship DVD in the service, and it's on a DVD, so you can stick it in a computer, you can stick it in your DVD player with your television, whatever you have, you can make it work for you. And it's got the words, and it's got some fun motions behind it, and there's a lot of creative ideas that you can take. In fact, I had 3 or 4 songs a couple years ago that the kids knew really well, so I said, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to make a Christmas play around these songs they already know. Save some time on practicing songs that they don't know for 3 weeks before Christmas. And so that's what we ended up doing, and it worked out pretty well. There's all different types of ideas that you can do, and they have the full, 13, a full quarter of lessons in here if you're struggling to come up with a kid's sermon or whatever you have that you can base your stuff off of. And they've got some other media that I could suggest for you as well. But this comes with a DVD, a CD, a teaching book for the teacher, and then it also comes with a family daily devotional that you can buy separately for each family group in your church if you want, where they can donate money or however. You just give it away as prizes, which is what I do, and it includes a music CD. Listening to it in the car, my girls are like, gotta make some noise, and they do the motions, and they're in their car seats, and I'm just like, all right, gonna switch the channel, all right.
But there's a lot of things. All the curriculum always offers you something for larger churches, but you can also scale it down. Because we have some churches that have very large ministries that have lots and lots of helpers. And they can do that large scale. But a lot of our churches, I'm one of them, we're a small New Start church, so we're really small. I have ages 2 to 6th grade. And I've got to try to make it all work together somehow. But you can scale it back. Usually if you look in the curriculum, they have a way to bring it down. And I'm going to plug in here. You're never too old to do kids ministry. You aren't. If you're a grandparent, you have lots of experience you can put in. If you've raised your children, you still have experience. If you're an aunt that was part of helping your nieces and nephews grow up, you're experienced. You've been with kids. I hear so many times, well, kids scare me. Kids shouldn't scare you. They're the next generation. They're the ones we've got to bring up. We can't let them scare us. We've got to be a part of them. And we need to make it happen. And I had at the last church I was pastoring in, I had an elderly lady. She's in her 60s. She'd had a stroke when she was in her 40s. She's in the wheelchair. She cannot use the left side of her body. But she is so involved in kids ministry. She is a Sunday school teacher. She is there for every VBS. She'll cook cookies. She does my snack shack because we get somebody to help her. But I used to hear people say, well, I'm retired from, I'm too old, or I've got this problem, I can't do that. And then I came to a church where here she was in a wheelchair, and she helps out. And every child in that church loves her. They know this lady, that she is just an intricate part of their life, and she's making a difference. She didn't let her physical ailments keep her from touching a kid's life. We can't let kids scare us. We have to be there. They're our future. And we need to bring them up in God's Word. We need to get them into church. Kids have so much junk. That's the best way to put it. They have so much junk out there. We need to make good influences, and we need to get people to come alongside them and to bring them in, to get them ministered to. And I know that's why you guys are here, because you know that that's something that they need. And one of the biggest things we're going to work on is we want to build a network. Because I know, I've been out there. I know Matt's been out there. I'm the only one out here. Help! You don't want to be there. You need a structure, and that's what we want to do. Christy started, last year we started trying to build this network, and we're going to still keep building. We're still going to try. And I know children's workers change over, but if we could just constantly be capturing that information, we want to resource you. And I know Matt's got a lot of knowledge on it. Emily's had to adapt.
Just to go what you were saying about Caravan, we started a program in January, and it was interesting because like she was saying, the people in my church, who, when I come towards them for VBS or Sunday school or something, they quickly turn the other way or they duck into the bathroom, you know? When I came to them about Caravan, and what I did was I went through the books and I found badges that I knew, like, she's really good at cooking and entertaining. So I approached her and I said, you do such an excellent job when we come to your home of making us feel welcoming. Would you mind sharing that? And we do ours in 4-week sessions. We do a little different Caravan session. And she goes, oh, only for 4 weeks? And I said, yeah, you're going to teach the same thing over and over to 4 different groups of kids about cooking or whatever it was. And she's like, oh, I can do that. And like, I have some older men in the church who are like, kids scare me, don't get me wrong. But when we brought up playing the derby, their memories of helping their kids or other things are like, yes, I would love to help. And so all of a sudden, we had these people who were like, what else can I do to help with? It was a great start, a great ministry to get so many people in the church involved, because there's so much that they can do and help with. So.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why it's not rocket science, is because we're all a genius, if you will. We're all an experienced person in some area of our life, and we have so much to give to the next generation that we shouldn't hold it together. I mean, I know when I first got back in a Caravan in San Angelo, I was asked to be a helper in the Benson's Buddies group, and then this last year I took over the oldest kids, so I jumped from the youngest kids to the oldest kids in a matter of a year. And but the youngest kids, we had special guest speakers in every 3 weeks. Did very similar to what you did. Somebody was talking about banking, someone was talking about, because the little kids are learning about finances, believe it or not. Talking about, I think we were doing a jobs curriculum, and so there was somebody who works as a banker, somebody who works as somebody who helps other people find jobs. There's all different types of experts, that's the word I was looking for, experts in your church. You just need to know where to pull them and help them to disciple in this way. It's a pretty good idea.
And with kids' church, everybody has a favorite Bible story. Everybody can say, oh yeah, I really like David and Goliath. I really like that one. Pull on those people. You know, well, you love that story. Come teach it to our kids. And, you know, because sometimes you don't have a permanent children's director because nobody wants to step up and nobody wants to do that. Again, they're just that, no, I'll help. Don't make me be out front. But if you'll just pull on people's knowledge, you know, you are passionate about David and Goliath, come teach our children about David and Goliath. You like Daniel and the lion's den, come speak to our kids. It's really good if you can get other adults to come in and tell stories. I know Holly pulls people in every now and then for what they're doing at her church. It helps the congregation connect with your kids, and your kids need that. And we just really can't emphasize enough about we need to network, we need to just build up these children for the next generation.
Can I say something? You may have said this before I came in, but Kids Fest is amazing. I know you were talking about that when I walked in. And I just wanted to make sure that you all know that even if you don't have a Caravan program or you're not doing quizzing, there's stuff for your kids to do at Kids Fest. There's Bible memorization, there's talent. I'm sure she already talked about all that, but I think, like I come from a background that didn't have Caravan, and so we used to not understand that there was something there for our kids, even though we didn't have that. We thought, well, we don't do Caravan, so only our quizzers are going to go. But that's not the case. So even if you don't, ever get a chance to start one of these programs, there are still a lot of opportunities for your kids at Kids Fest, wherever it's at. So just keep an eye out for that for next year.
We had a church who has neither quizzing nor Caravan come, and they almost in their own church doubled our amount of kids who came, because they weren't planning on coming because there was some confusion about it. And then we passed some information, and they just started asking kids, and they just loaded up their van, and they almost doubled our numbers in the first Kids Fest. And that was really exciting. And honestly, the majority of them, they didn't have time to make a pine wet derby. They didn't have it. A couple of them had a talent. They ran the obstacle course, which we made up off the top of our head, and it was a lot of fun. And the kids loved it. I had never seen it before, and then Tracy asked me, "Hey, can you do the obstacle course?" Sure, I can. What is that? Okay. And that's really how it works, and that's okay, because it's the kids. I loved it. And then once we got it down, we were able to replicate it a couple times and make some changes. And her kids are awesome, by the way. You ever see them around, just say thank you. Tell their parents thank you for making such great kids and encouraging them in the faith, because they were out there even before I arrived to help lead it, and they had it all set up and planned out, and they added new different fun things for the kids to do. And it's, kids love to run around, and we tell them, don't run in your church. Run in the obstacle course at Kids Fest, because it's okay. That kind of a thing. Literally, tons of boys just came out and had fun. Girls as well had like some of the fastest speeds. So it was just a ton of fun.